Today I woke up and it was a nice cloudy day, a cooler morning, and a little bit of a breeze, so I thought it'd be a great day to get into some of these hives and start harvesting some honey. Before I do anything and get started, I definitely want to smoke these hives. I don't want these bees going crazy on me, and the smoke helps block the attack pheromone that the bees use when they are upset, angry, or scared. And me stealing their honey is going to trigger all of those emotions. So when I harvest honey, I go frame by frame through the boxes, and I pull out the frames that are capped over completely with honey, or at least 75 to 80% capped over. You definitely want the honey to be capped over, otherwise the moisture content might be too high, it might ferment, and you might get some mead instead of some honey. So the first couple of frames that I pulled out didn't have enough honey that was capped over, but this one does. There's very little nectar that's not capped over honey. So I'm going to take this frame and I'm going to brush the bees off of it. Even once the frames are capped over, bees are still on it, tending to it and making sure that it stays in good shape and that there's nothing robbing it, like beetles, wasps, anything like that. So I brush off the few remaining bees. They drop right back into the hive and live their life on in there. And here's a quick look at what I see when I'm looking down in the hive. It's nothing super special, but you can see on the left there, that is capped over honey on that frame. So now that I have a frame or two out, it's super easy to go through frame by frame, see that I want to take that frame, and then haul it over to my gator where I have empty boxes to put the frames back in to keep them safe. As I go through this and brush the bees off, you can see there's quite a few flying around. They're not as angry as you think they are. I probably don't even need to be wearing this bee suit. There's been no bees attacking me or bouncing off my head. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. In this summer heat, a lot of the beehives get super angry and spicy, and then they come at you like crazy until you get to the safety of your home. So I am always wearing this bee suit, even when I don't think I need to. Several of these frames in this top box were ready to be harvested, but there are 4 of them that were not. So I'm leaving those in there, setting that top box off to the side, and I'm going to check the next box down. And I got a feeling this box is going to have a lot of honey in it. It's been on here for a long time. We'll see what the very first frame that I pull out provides. Getting that first frame out is always so hard to do, especially when it's set there for quite a while and it's packed with honey. This frame is super heavy. I struggle to even hold it like that one-handed. It feels like it's got to weigh at least 15-20 pounds. And it's covered in honey that's protruding from the left and the right. That's just a beautiful frame of honey right there, and it looks like there's a couple more in this hive that are just like that. This side of this frame isn't even completely drawn out yet, but the other side is nice and full and heavy, so this is going to be another good frame to keep. I'm super happy it's cloudy. If it wasn't cloudy, I would be just sweating to death in this bee suit right here. You can see there in the middle, that's some older capped off honey. It was a dark spot there, and that darker honey has been capped longer. As the wax sits there and ages and hardens, it actually also darkens. So that darker spot there is definitely darker capped older honey. Luckily, honey doesn't go bad with age. Now that I'm looking down here a little bit farther, some of these frames actually have brood on them. There are eggs and larvae in some of these frames, and I'm not going to take any frame that has larvae in it. Instead, I choose to wait and let that larva hatch out, and as soon as it does hatch out, they're going to backfill those cells with honey. I have some extra frames that I'm going to drop down inside this bottom box, but I don't have any extra frames for the smaller box that was on top. So all I can really do is put that back on, and once I'm done harvesting the honey from the frames that I pulled out of this hive, I'll have to slip those frames right back in. So I'm going to put a little flag up there, and that flag will help remind me what hive I have to take frames back to. So when I pull the frames out and you see me disappear off the screen, I'm just taking those frames full of honey over here to the gator, and I have an empty box that I put them in for safekeeping until I can get them back up to the house and take them inside and put them in my honey extractor to extract the honey for bottling. This video is only about 5 minutes long, but in reality that whole process took me probably 20 minutes or so, And it was pretty painless because it's not super sunny or hot, and the bees were really calm and cooperative. Sometimes doing this can become quite the chore. I have 4 more hives that I plan to do today, and then I'm going to get these boxes up to the house and get them extracted and get this honey out on the table for sale by the end of the day today.